Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Wednesday, September 9th, 2020 meeting of the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department Merit Board. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Chief, would you do us the honor?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for holding that for us. Thank you very much. For those of you who are noticing, we are temporarily relocated out to the Sheriff's Department Training Board at the fairgrounds while there's other activities going on at the courthouse. So, Sheriff, thank you for arranging the atmosphere for us in here and the real nice flag holder that we've got. Really appreciate it. Did everyone get an opportunity to review the minutes from last month's meeting?
Yes.
Are there any corrections? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve? Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning. Thank you for coming here today and accommodating us. And Mr. Kimball, as you alluded to, we did get relocated because initially we were told that Superior Court 1 was being relocated out of Michigan City Courthouse and was going to take up residency until they could get into the Brown Mackey building. They were going to take up residency in the council chambers where the county council, the county commission, and where we normally meet. And so therefore we were removed from that room. We made public notice that we were going to be relocating out here, and then when we found out late last week that Superior Court 1 indeed was not going to be coming to the complex this week, it was too late to make public notice, so we just forged ahead and opted to continue to have a meeting held out here. So thank you for being out here and changing the venue. It's something that was out of our control.
It was a good adventure for Miss Moxie now over at the fairgrounds.
Yes, exactly. But she did a great job of finding the location, so I'm proud of her. We do have a number of items on our agenda today, and the first matter that we need to take care of are several promotional approval requests that Mrs. Trojanowski has provided. And to the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant Benjamin G. Poynton, a member of the department eligible for promotion to that rank of probationary patrolman, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any attached, has been found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total, as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list, published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all of the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank, which would be effective July 27, 2020.
With that being heard, are there any questions? No questions. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you. The next is concerning Jacob C. Payne, Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant Jacob C. Payne, a member of the department eligible for promotion to the rank of probationary patrolman, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any attached, we found that it made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total, as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list, published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank, effective April 6, 2020.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you, Sheriff.
And finally, a promotional approval request for Micah Hatley, the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant Micah C. Hatley, member of the department, eligible for promotion to the rank of probationary patrolman, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any attached, has been found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total, as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list, published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, she appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge her duties in the rank sought, I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for her promotion to that rank, effective July 7th, 2020.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Thank you. If you'll refer to your agenda, get started with that. The first item is probationary deputies Point and Payne are now in week 6 of the Basic Recruit Academy. Their training, as you recall, is at the Northwest Indiana Law Enforcement Academy in Hobart. They had their criminal law examination last week and both did very, very well. They made us proud with their grade totals. Another honor is the fact that Deputy Payne has been named to a squad leader, and he has a lot of responsibility along with his group of recruits. It's an honor for him and a testament to his leadership qualities. I'm not certain how many are in his squad, but I'm going to guesstimate they're probably between 25 and 30. And so that's very nice that he was selected not only by the staff at the academy for that position, but also by his peers as well. That will lend well, that leadership experience when he comes back here to the Sheriff's Office and he becomes a regular member of the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office. In the meantime, probationary deputy Micah Hatley, she's in phase 2 of the field training program. She did obviously complete phase 1. She did so very successfully. Sergeant Jeff Wright reports that she's doing very well. She has an excellent attitude, which we certainly are witness to every single day. She smiles. Every time we see her, she's got a smile on her face. She's learning a lot and she's experiencing a lot as well. She's got a very bright future here, as we previously reported. Each month we report that a number of calls for service at Franciscan Hospital in Michigan City, and for the month of August, we responded to 13 calls at the hospital, and to refresh your recollection, we responded to 11 the previous month. And again, this is not an inordinate amount of calls that we're responding to there. Speaking of calls for service, our calls for service department-wide increased 10% from July to August, so our calls for service are growing. In July, we answered 2,257 calls for service, while in August, we answered 2,477 calls for service. Importantly is the fact that our crashes in the month of August were down 3% from the previous month. That's very good news. And we think that's because of our enforcement action and the fact that we're very visible out on our county roads, our streets, and our highways. And that helps to slow traffic down and causes people to pay attention to what they're doing. Our traffic stops increased in the month of August compared to July by 16%. The number of citations was up 16% from the previous month as well. So as you can see, our enforcement efforts are stepping up. On Monday, September 7th, which was Labor Day, our scuba team was summoned twice to Washington Park in Michigan City. The first time they were summoned was in reference to a 16-year-old girl who had jumped from the lighthouse into the lake, and she never surfaced. Deputy Scott Lou Phillips and Sergeant John Berger made a recovery of her after she had been underwater for an estimated 50 minutes. Unfortunately, the girl could not be revived. They did recover her with the assistance of the Michigan City Fire Department. About 3 hours later, the team was summoned back to Washington Park for another possible drowning. Just prior to the team's arrival, they were told to disregard as the swimmer had been located and successfully brought to shore. Most of the team members who responded were off duty at the time of these call-outs, and they were at home enjoying their family during this holiday. Rescue efforts in Lake Michigan are very physically and emotionally taxing, especially when it involves a young life, but even more so physically on days like Monday when the weather conditions of the lake was rather treacherous. We appreciate the risks that our scuba team puts themselves in. They provide a very valuable service, and we're very proud of them. But I want you to know how physically taxing that is. I'm not a diver, I've never been a diver, but I know what they go through, and it is exhausting. Especially when they're going out on the break wall. There's no easy way to get out there. They can't just drive up the break wall and out to the location where a victim was last seen. Likewise, they can't do that on the beach either. At least with a vehicle, sometimes they can take an ATV, but they've got to haul all their equipment, oftentimes running with 100 pounds or more of equipment out that break wall so they can get in. And then they become so physically taxed, fighting the current and fighting the swells and being pushed up against the break wall and the rocks. It's extremely treacherous, and it's very tough on the equipment as well. So we're keeping a very close eye on it. On Monday, September 21st, the Sheriff's Office will be honoring the 40th anniversary of the death of Deputy Neil Thompson. We'll meet at his burial site in Carlisle at 10 a.m., and that marks the exact time of his death. And we'll have a prayer. At 11 a.m., we'll meet back here at the training building, here at the fairgrounds, and we'll have a presentation and lunch. Neil's surviving family members are coming in from out of town, and we have several mementos to present to them. To help keep Neil's memory alive the entire month of September, all of our deputies are utilizing his retired unit number when utilizing the police radio. The simple act has caused us to think about Deputy Thompson every time we key up our microphone, and it helps to keep his legacy alive as well. As you know, nearly every member of the Sheriff's Office did not know Neil, and many were even born when he passed away, yet we're making sure we keep his legacy alive. One of the things that we've also done, Captain Allen was instrumental in this, and he'll be providing each of you one of these, is we've commissioned the making of a challenge coin, which remembers and honors Neil Thompson. It's got his retired unit number in the middle of it on one side, and on the other side is a blue ribbon with the silhouette of LaPorte County on there, and his end of watch date, of course, which is September 21st, 1980. You each have been invited to that, and we hope you'll be able to make it, if not to the cemetery here or to both places. We'd be honored for you to be here. The next item is, we would like to talk about the Bowl for the Heart. Captain Allen will get up and talk about that. That is upcoming. It's a 5K and a half marathon that will be taking place on Sunday, September 27th in Michigan City. Captain Allen?
Morning.
Morning.
Thanks, Sheriff. As the Sheriff indicated, we have once again been very fortunate that the Bolt for the Heart organizers out of Indianapolis and their founding chairman and president and CEO, Pierre Twier, is a native of LaPorte County. So he has taken it upon himself to not only move one of his races up here, but to support the county law enforcement, whether it's Long Beach PD all the way down to Westville PD, and include the Sheriff's Office. We are really extremely optimistic and hopeful, knock on wood, that we have been given the green light to continue with our race plans on September 27th. We are one of the few races regionally and statewide that are still a go at this point. We're keeping in mind the social distancing guidelines, and along with some other staggered race start times, and we're mindful of the COVID pandemic, but we're very optimistic this is going to go with the ultimate goal and mission is to provide an AED in every patrol car throughout LaPorte County for the citizens that travel through and that reside here within our communities. Yesterday afternoon, the Sheriff and I attended a committee meeting for Bolt for the Heart. The numbers we expect are a little low, but we're continuing to push and raise public awareness that we encourage everybody to participate. It's a family-friendly event, so if you're not a runner or you are a walker, we encourage anybody to attend who may be eligible and able to do so physically and medically if their doctor would approve. So I brought with me some individual flyers that I know many of you have contacts throughout the communities. If you could provide those to them, just to raise public awareness and spread the word that we are doing this event, and still go. Along with those flyers, I brought with me what's called they have an additional program. It's called like the Hometown Heroes. So if a business or some sort of organization sponsors an AED, they Bolt for the Heart will make up a sticker, and that sticker will go on the back of the patrol car, and it'll say the AED in this vehicle is sponsored by such and such. So that's another option for businesses throughout the county this year is the first year that, in addition to the 5K, we're going to do a half marathon. And the intention and thought behind the half marathon was to gear it towards long distance runners who would be participating in the full Chicago Marathon. However, as with the world majors, not only in Chicago, but the ones across the entire world, they were canceled and shut down, not just Chicago. However, there are some marathons locally that are still a go, one of which is November 1st. So this is kind of a good prelude, an opportunity for a long distance runner to include this event, the half marathon, into their training program. So there are some different options out there, but again, it's family friendly and we encourage all to attend. Thank you.
One of the things that I'd like to, as well as talk to our Merit Commission about the public, is we are looking for volunteers for this. We're estimating that we're going to need 90 volunteers for this race. With that said, we've partnered with organizations like Franciscan, who they're counting on a large contingent of their employees who will come out and volunteer. The YMCA of LaPorte County, not only LaPorte, Long Beach, and Michigan City will have a number of volunteers, but the Sheriff's Office will have a number of volunteers. For instance, what I'm doing, and I would encourage others to do, is while I don't want to run the half marathon because I don't want to embarrass any of our staff out there, I'm going to pay for the registration fees. And rather than run, I'm just going to volunteer. That way I'll get some of the bling and some of the t-shirts and that type of thing that you'll get. And I might suggest that you can do that as well. Just come out and volunteer your time that Sunday morning. We hope to be wrapped up by 11:30 at the latest that morning. So it would be a nice way to enjoy the lakeshore on a crisp fall morning, and it would be a good opportunity for you to give something back. Mr. Skoy, you'll be out there volunteering your time, so I look forward to working side by side with you as we both do that.
I'll be out there in uniform then.
All right. Can you think of anything else that we should?
No, this event here is another example of how the agency and administration is taking an active role in including not only the mental health aspect of law enforcement, but also the physical aspect as well. Those two work combination hand in hand. We have to be mentally and physically sharp, and this is just another example that we're going to pay for the registration fees out of the discretionary fund that we have in-house for the Sheriff's Office, and we're encouraging our employees to attend and participate in this great event.
As of right now, how many do we have that are registered to run?
Approximately 15, and we're going to make another push later this week.
That's great. That's good. That's I'm proud of that number, of the number of participants from the Sheriff's Office that will be out there either running or walking, because there is the family 5K that you can walk or run. I think Mrs. Trojanowski, you're going to be out there walking, aren't you? Good for you. That's great.
Captain, 2 questions if I can. What is the cost per runner?
I can look that up quickly and provide you with an answer, maybe following the meeting. It is relatively inexpensive for other races that I've participated in personally, so it's not out of line with what kind of races go for on the regional level.
Okay, and the other question, is this Bolt for Life, is it a 501c3 nonprofit?
It is, yes. Okay. Yes, excellent question, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, to volunteer or to register, you can go to Bolt for the Heart, their website, and just Google it, and you'll see that they've got several race venues, whether it be Wheatfield or they had one up here in Detroit last weekend, and the one in Michigan City. You just go to the link for the Michigan City race and you can register to run, walk, or volunteer online. And if you volunteer, you have a choice as to where you can work. So if you get on there quickly and you say, I'd like to volunteer, you can choose where you're going to volunteer. So if you'd like to be right along the lakefront, say on Lakeshore Drive, or right in Washington Park, or in Fenner's Alley, you can select that spot. The earlier you get on, the greater the chances are you can get a location you'd like to work.
It's $35 to run.
35, okay.
To participate, run, walk.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain.
Yesterday afternoon, we received notification from the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute that our 2021 enforcement grant application had been approved. This is really good news for us. We'll receive approximately $58,300 in funds to support our highway traffic safety enforcement efforts. This money will support additional deputies who will target impaired, aggressive, and distracted drivers, along with those who recklessly pass school buses while they're loading or unloading. A special thank you to Captain Brent Bergalski for his time to author the grant and administer it. He oversees our traffic safety enforcement grants and does a very nice job with it. We do have several emails and a letter of commendation. The first letter of commendation is dated August 18th, 2020, and it's from Sergeant Scott Boswell. On Friday, August 14th, 2020, Deputy Michael Sweet was patrolling in the area of the overpass at Dale Road on County Road 200 North. He observed a minivan parked across the access drive of the railroad right-of-way. Deputy Sweet initiated an investigation concerning the suspicious vehicle. The vehicle, bearing an Indiana registration, was found to be unoccupied and locked. Deputy Sweet soon located a female standing on a set of railroad tracks. Her attention was concentrated directly to her phone. He noted that she was listening to music, which appeared to have a sad melody. Deputy Sweet convinced the female to exit the railroad tracks, and within several minutes of this initial interaction, a westbound train proceeded through the area, specifically along the railway that she was standing. Deputy Sweet learned that the female previously lived in the area. She's a current resident of Porter. She told him about experiencing a recent miscarriage of twins. Although she denied being suicidal at the time, she acknowledged previous adulation of self-harm. She volunteered currently that she was receiving treatment via a therapist. Telephone contact was made with the therapist. The therapist confirmed prior suicide attempts by the female. She had received treatment previously at Franciscan Hospital in Michigan City. Deputy Sweet was able to convince the female to seek treatment at the hospital, and he demonstrated compassion by allowing this semi-distraught female to gather several personal items, and he took her to the hospital. I'm convinced that had Deputy Sweet dismissed this vehicle, the female would have been successful in committing suicide. Please join me in recognizing and commending Deputy Michael Sweet for his life-saving actions on August 14, 2020. Respectfully, L. Scott Boswell, Sergeant. I echo his sentiments and comments. I too believe that he saved this young lady's life, and it's just another example of the great work that Deputy Sweet does. He's been the recipient of several emails and letters of commendation in the last year. He does an outstanding job. This is an example of the work that our deputies do. They go beyond just checking on a vehicle and check the area, and in this case it paid off because we firmly believe that he saved a life. He is now eligible for the department's life-saving award that will be presented in January at our annual awards banquet. The next is an email that was received by the LaPorte County Drug Task Force thanking them for their actions. The email starts out by saying, "You probably don't remember me, but I definitely remember you. This was offered to the Drug Task Force. You and the Drug Task Force raided the house that I was staying at and arrested me and some of my friends. At the time I was pregnant and not sure if I wanted to stop using drugs. I had found out about my pregnancy 5 days before I was arrested. I was scared and I was really in deep. I had no idea what was going on or what to do or even what I wanted to do. I do know that 5 hours before you came down in the basement, I almost died, and so did my child. Now, you probably don't get this a lot, or maybe I'm wrong if you do, but from the bottom of my heart and my son's heart, thank you. Thank you so much. I know in my heart neither of us would be here if it wasn't for you and your guys. I know you were just doing your job, but it's something that has stuck with me the past year and a half that I've been clean and sober. I'll be forever grateful." I'm not going to read this young lady's name to protect her anonymity, but what a great testament it is. We are changing lives every day, and oftentimes we are changing lives by really making an arrest. So I'm really proud of our Drug Task Force and the difference they're making in LaPorte County. As a reminder, our next Mayor Commission meeting is Wednesday, October 14th, 9 a.m. It should be back in the council chambers. Please note that the Warrants Division and the Jail Monthly reports are attached. The Detective Bureau reported here. My Administrative Assistant Becky Popwell is out of the office for a few days. Wasn't able to get that to me. But I'd like you to know just how busy the different divisions are. One of the things that you should be aware of is in the jail. Fortunately, in the month of August, we had no assaults on staff. That's always a great thing. That's one of the first things that we look at. And the number of meals that we served last month were 28,296. We're serving a lot of meals in our jail. Also, the fact that we continue to be proud of the fact that we knock on wood here, or plastic, that we have no COVID with our inmates in the jail. We're working very diligently to keep COVID out.
Thank you, Sheriff. Are there any comments from the floor? Comments from the floor? Hearing none, comments from the board. Mr. Schooley? Yes, sir. Ms. Mott? Mr. Weaver?
I just want to say that thank you for sharing those stories because it's something we don't see in the media all the time. And it is a great testament to what law enforcement does in our communities nationwide. And I have the utmost respect, and I just want you all to know that.
Thank you. Couple questions, Sheriff. I know that under item 5 with the scuba team, I know at one point, maybe a year ago, there was some discussion about searching out grants for a boat that would be able to maneuver the waters on Lake Michigan. Is that still being pursued, or?
Sergeant John Berger was tasked with that, and to be honest with you, I don't know where he is with that. I know it was through the Department of Homeland Security, and he was working with the Coast Guard as well. The fortunate thing that we have as a community is that we have a Coast Guard station in Michigan City, and oftentimes they can provide a ride for our guys. But it certainly would be nice when they're out of harbor because they've got such a large area. They're not always right there. And in this case, I don't believe they were in the harbor this particular day. I think they were out on their calls for service. It's something that we need, and it's something that Sergeant Berger is looking into.
So the day of this, there was no Coast Guard boat?
I don't believe that their vessels were in port,
So they
were out on the lake.
They did have a hike to haul all that gear out?
Yes.
The other thing I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of the 5 of us to remind the rank and file that we are going to continue with the Beyond the Expected Award that will be presented at the awards banquet in January. Assuming that's going to go, we'll have to wait and see, but that does not, even if we don't have the banquet, the Merit Board still would like to continue with that award. And that can be, someone can be nominated by any of the merit officers on the department by just simply sending a recap to myself or any of the Merit Board officers, and we will look that over and make some determinations on that. This will be our 3rd year doing it coming up, and we feel that it's very well received, and we definitely do not want to drop the ball just because we have a pandemic kind of staring us in the eyes right now. So any assistance we can get from that on the rank and file, we would really appreciate it. So, with that, are there any other comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I have a motion, to have a second? A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned at 9:26 a.m. Thank you.